Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8. Technically supposed to be part 2, but the footage process fested for this one, so it's part 1 of Sound and Play. I'm your host, Ayat Kamal, and you're joining me in the Miyoo A30 unboxing. So, this device, what will I say about this device? Look at this amazing case that came with the device. I love it. It feels a lot more premium compared to the original My Mini Plus case that I got. That one's more like rubber and silicone. This one's more like I don't even know what the texture is, but it feels like some sort of like vinyl type, clothy vinyl type thing. So when we open this up, comes with the standard, the manual, which I don't need. The little TF card, that's what they call it, but it's a micro SD card as I know it. And the charging cable, USB-C to USB 1. Yeah, that's that. And we got this little adapter. This is kind of cool. They only use USB-C for audio. Like you can use a USB-C for charging and then also for audio. So they give the adapter so that you can plug in your headphones into the USB-C port with the adapter. Like I said, this is the beautiful device. And I mean, it's packaged nicely. The inside of the case feels a lot better than the other Mayu case. More soft and delicate. Like this is like a baby in like a cradle with like a bunch of blankets. I will say, off the jump, D-pad is pretty nice. Buttons feel a lot better than the My Mini Plus's buttons. That's for sure. The D-pad I've heard is a little bit loose compared to the My Mini Plus, and it feels that way too. The trigger buttons are pretty nice. I have really no complaints. Top, we got the USB-C port, volume buttons. We got the little home button. Honestly, that takes some time to get used to. Not really used to having the home button up there. Buttons feel pretty nice. D-pad is from the Switch. I used to have a Switch Lite, so it's really nice. And then of course the micro SD card slot. I mean, this little left trigger I will say felt a little bit loose. It still feels a little bit loose compared to the right trigger. Back is pretty nice and smooth. I like how it looks like. I like how it feels. I wouldn't say it's cheap quality. I think Retro Games Corp, I watched a YouTube video. He said that it's a cheaper quality, but it doesn't feel that way. Let's open this micro SD card. Once I figure it out, yeah, kind of finicky. Then let's just load this thing in. Honestly, like it came with a bunch of games. I think Chinese and Japanese sports, but I ended up dumping all those games, especially the Game Boy, NES, arcade games, because I'm really trying to only play higher up games, like only the games that are kind of exclusive to this console that I can't play on my Mini Plus. I'm gonna keep that for the little lower end games. But this, boot it up, see that beautiful mine screen and the blue light. I want to play some games that I can only play on this Miyoo A30. So I finally figured out a way to set up my camera properly, the phone properly, with the selfie stick, the main menu, the default one that they give you. The game, got all these things. Game Boy, it's like not a Game Boy. My bad, my bad. The Dreamcast, Marvel vs. Capcom, I got that. The PSP games, and let's load up Dragon Ball Z. So this game runs pretty damn flawlessly. I will say that. Got full 60 frames consistently. Unless if I like have some low battery or I'm not charging, then the frames get to like 40, 45, but it's still pretty good at 40, 45. But I can get 60, 61 when I'm playing normally when it's charged and also when it's charging. Get the Broly for this just to show you guys a little bit. Let's go Jita. Like I said, the game runs really smooth. I've been grinding this game. You don't start the game with Broly or Gogeta, but I've been grinding. Like I said, I beat this game before. This is Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai 2 or Shin Budokai Another Road, and it was a fun game, but you gotta grind kind of a lot. but it's worth it in the end. Once you fill up the whole roster and get all the transformations. Of course, I have another form for Broly, his legendary Super Saiyan form, but we're just using his regular Super Saiyan. Let's go Vegeta. I mean, this game runs really nicely. It's really smooth, and it was on my wish list. I was really hoping that this Miyoo A30 could run this, and it can. So that's something that's really great to me. I will say that, like, I'm very happy I get to play this game and re-experience it. It is kind of a hassle because the PSP game is kind of stretched onto this smaller screen. I do wish the screen was a little bit bigger. I think this screen is smaller than my Mini Plus, just based on me looking at it and stuff. It certainly feels that way. Could be wrong though. I haven't really touched that thing since I got this really, other than to compare the cases, you know. But the firmware, it's gonna take some time to get used to the default firmware. Cause I'm used to Onion OS on the My Mini Plus, but it's not a bad thing, not at all. But yeah, I won, and then I ran some GTA Chinatown Wars. So I ran some other PSP games, a Little Big Planet. And I noticed it was at like I think 20, 25 frames was capped. And then I also played Mod Nation Racers. I think same thing, 25, 25. I didn't get to play those games too extensively. I kind of just did like the tutorial or just the kind of like initial stuff. This game as well, Chinatown Wars. I did the tutorial, and I can tell like it's capped at like 20. This is my first time free roaming right now. Like not my first time ever playing this game in free roaming, but on this my UA30. And honestly, like it is kind of clunky because I mean like it's not as smooth, you know. You can definitely feel that. It's still I guess playable, but I really would have liked if we got the chance to kind of not have to deal with all this clunkiness and just play a little bit smoother. I didn't think that this game would be so demanding, considering it's kind of like a lighter game. You'd think like Dragon Ball Z wouldn't run or something, but like clearly this is having some issues. And I mean, not only that, look at that. That's graphical bugs. You know what I mean? So next up, we got Nintendo 64, where I ran some Mario Kart 64. This ran flawlessly. Bowser was trying to give me a run for my money right here. I didn't let him. I'm only playing on 100cc though, because honestly, the thing is, because this emulator can run PSP and then Nintendo 64, and it can run Dreamcast, it's kind of like getting used to the controls, like when you switch them around and stuff. It's kind of confusing. Like the menu button, I believe it's L2 when you're running PSP games. If you run Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast, the menu button is the home button that's on top. That was really confusing when I was playing PSP. Came in first, pretty sick. I also ran Paper Mario 64 or Paper Mario. Sorry, it's not called Paper Mario 64, but it didn't keep my save. Honestly, the game ran really smoothly. It just had a little bit of graphical bugs, like for like a second or two, and then it would go away. So that game runs really smooth. I'm really upset that it didn't keep my save. Then we got Super Smash Bros. I'm really surprised that no one actually played this when they were using their Mario A30. Unlike Luigi, I sort of grinded this game today. What I did realize when I was playing this game, for example, like you have to break the targets for all the original 8 characters to unlock Luigi. And when I was playing with the battery full, or when this was like charging, it was running really smooth. I've noticed when I even play like Shin Budokai, or if I play like Super Smash Bros. For example, I guess there's the two games where I actually like went from charging to not charging. I realized that when I put the charger in, it's so much brighter and saturated. But then when I have the charger off, it's not as bright and saturated. Mario's whooping me and taunting on me. He's literally emoting, flexing on me. But I also noticed that the game does stutter a little bit when the battery gets lower. Other than that, it's really smooth. When I first booted this game up, though, for some reason it was like pretty laggy. But then when I booted it up again, like right now, like not well, I mean right now to show you guys obviously, but I mean also it's got whooped so hard. And when I booted it up before too, and I like when I was unlocking Luigi, it was running really smooth. I don't know when I first started it why it wasn't smooth. Then we got Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So all those games on my wish list, they ran good. Mod Nation Racers wasn't on my wish list, and Little Big Planet wasn't. I just realized, and I kind of remembered that they had PSP ports, and those were games I played on my PS3. So I was like, let's just see how they run. I haven't really given them a full fair shot of me actually playing past the tutorial, so I can't say. Like Chinatown Wars, even though it was capped at like 20 frames, still ran pretty good until I did the free roam. Then I really noticed, oh, there's some stuff here. More vs. Capcom 2, no complaints with it. Other than that, I don't remember the controls from Marvel vs. Capcom 1, especially because that was also a PS1 game. This is Dreamcast game, but it runs pretty damn smooth. I will say that. Like, I really have no complaints other than not the controls for this. This was also on my wish list. Chinatown Wars was kind of disappointing. Like I said, I forgot that that was on my wish list, and that didn't really do it. Didn't really do the trick. Excuse me. Based on everything though, I will say that the cons are the somewhat loose L button, confusing OS, which they'll fix if they put Onion on this. There's too many settings to play around with between the Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast, PSP. I had to change my Nintendo 64 settings. Like before I started anything, I changed it for watching some video. And PSP settings, I just made the screen. I set it up myself because it was stretching and it was looking really weird on default. And the joystick position is somewhat weird. It's kind of harder to use because it's kind of out of the way. Let's. I wish the joystick was above the D-pad. I think the power and home button should be switched potentially. The power button being on the right and the home button being on the top. Because honestly, it's confusing me, but I think I'm not used to it. Once I get used to it, I'm sure it'll be a lot better. I think the screen is a little bit too small. And I just want to let you know that I'm playing this on the overclocked high speed or and like power. It's 100. I can't think 1,330 megahertz or hertz or whatever, and it overheats just a bit. I don't think it overheats like crazy, but it overheats a bit. Pros, I will say it runs PSP really well for the most part. Some Nintendo 64 it runs quite well. Probably be better if I had custom OS, like they'd have more optimizations on that for running all these different emulators. Most of the games that I want to play run well, like I said. I think the Switch joystick feels really nice. The joypad for the Switch, the ABXY buttons feel better than the My Mini Plus. It's smoother, and the back feels smooth and comfy. The metal looks nice on top of it. I wanted the black color, but I ended up getting the gold because that was the one in stock when I bought it. And originally, this console had a brightness problem, but that was on the first batch of models. And the model that I got, the brightness problem was fixed in an update. So I don't have any issues with the brightness like people were initially having. But that's my whole review on the Miyoo A30. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.